Hey guys, welcome to the Perfectly Wasted podcast. I'm the host DullOxide. Today's episode 21 about the Facebook VR unit. You can find all my previous episodes on the Drinking Wisemen YouTube channel, as well as my bi-weekly podcast, Brew the Truth. All my day-to-day photos on my Instagram at DullOxide. There was some news released today on the Facebook VR unit, and so this guy, Mark Zuckerberg, of course, with his Oculus unit, they've introduced this new Facebook VR that's kind of like a virtual reality room where you and three of your friends can get together and do things in VR, not being in the same area. So Facebook's VR basically allows you to choose an avatar, and the new avatars actually look extremely similar, in my opinion, to the Nintendo Wii's Me setup that they have. Okay, of course it's a little bit more customized, and you actually don't have to input all of the information. You get to choose a photo to kind of basically base your new avatar on, but they strongly, in my opinion, resemble the Me, and with the way that Miiverse is set up and things like this, it seems like the whole VR room with Facebook is kind of similar to it. You can play little mini games, and you can kind of bring people to your same area. Like there's a couple things I'm gonna go over, but yeah, basically it looks very, very similar, in my opinion, to the Me. It just kind of automates the process for you. So here's an example of the new avatar, and the new avatar makes it so that you select a photo, and that photo is what it bases your avatar on. So you could select a photo that you look really great, or that you're wearing glasses or not wearing glasses, and that's what it's going to base your avatar on. So it's pretty cool. I assume that you get to choose your clothing and things like that, because I've seen a lot of them that have the same clothing. So that's got some features on it that's kind of wacky. I'm not quite sure what people are going to be using this for, to be honest. I think that it's like a real stretch to try and advertise this, because already, like, why? Just why? They have the ability to play, little mini games inside of it. So one of the mini games that they talked about was chess. So I mean, that's kind of cool. You could play with your friends from across the world in chess, but you have to be on the Oculus. All right, from what I understand, the Oculus is the only thing that's going to have this available, and so they're going to have it on Oculus, and you'll have to have this expensive ass system hooked up to your computer to be able to play these games at all. And so basically, if I want to play chess, I could just go to a Yahoo Chess or whatever and play online for free against my friends anywhere. And the only real benefit of this is that you kind of get to make your room that you're in anywhere on the planet, which definitely is cool, because if you have like a 360 video of an area, then you could just kind of like pop it into your center console of the world, I guess you would call it, and it'll show that area for everyone that's inside of this room. So it's definitely pretty cool that you can share this with people, but honestly, this is just like another regular VR room that you could share stuff. I don't understand why it has to be like Facebook, really. So another thing that they're doing is that they're allowing it so that you can have your friends from Facebook Messenger join in on the conversation and come in and do video chat and things like this. So it's kind of just like a new way to connect, I guess, but at the same time, it just seems like an extremely expensive way to connect. So I'm not quite sure if people are really going to get on board with this, because for the cost of an Oculus, plus the cost of a computer that can run the Oculus, and the fact that really you're not interacting with avatars that quite look like you, it's kind of like a wacky thing. And just to make it even wackier, they went ahead and they added an ability to do selfies inside of it. So, and it's not just with the people that are in this room that you're in. You could do it with the people that are talking to you through Messenger. And additionally, like, I guess one of the cooler features would be that you can do, window sharing. So one of the things that they gave an example of is like, say the new Star Wars trailer, for instance, me and four of my friends that could connect on Oculus could come into the same room, and we could all watch the trailer at the same time. So that's kind of cool. You know, you get to experience the same thing at the same time with people, but they have other things that you could already do this in, so I'm not quite sure why you'd have to go through Facebook VR to be able to get that kind of feeling from it. It seems like a large waste of time and money. One of the commercials that they've had so far for it was depicting like brother and sister talking and then getting together in the VR with one of their friends for their friend's birthday and having like a little celebration and someone calling in through the messenger. And, you know, it's like, it's a really kind of weird thing. You know, like the whole selfie in VR to me is kind of like a really odd thing to have, but people are probably going to love it. Like, let's be real. I kind of feel like it's going to be one of those features that no one ever uses, like on the iPhone, the 3D touch feature that I've never seen anyone use in my life, that I feel like is just kind of, I understand it's an extension of applications, but it just feels like a huge waste. You know, they built in this feature, they took all this time coding it, and yet I never see anyone talking about it or using it. And, you know, maybe it's just me. Maybe you do use it. If you do use it, let me know. And maybe this will be one of those things, you know, Facebook VR that you could take selfies in and do all this other crazy shit. One thing that I really, really dislike about this, is that you cannot dislike anything in VR, which is to say that they right now have no ability to show on the avatar's faces if you're sad or angry. All right, so this is kind of like a really, really weird feature to me, because you're always happy in VR. And I think that their kind of like rationalization on this was that they want this to be like a happy place, an enjoyable place for everyone. And I understand that from a marketing perspective, that's, you know, really great. You know, hey, it's a really happy, fun place to be. You could be with people that you like and, you know, do things that you want and share things how you want to. And you can customize the world however you like. And, you know, so that's pretty cool, sure. But at the same time, like, that's not how real life is. It's so I mean, I understand it's virtual reality, but you want it to be like as close to real life as possible, which is why they've enabled it to have all these different scene settings. You know, you could take a 3D video, drop it in the center, and everyone's all of a sudden at this 3D location that you're at. And, you know, while that's really cool, and while the concept is cool to be able to be with friends at a virtual location, I just don't think that it's really as thought out as it should be, and it definitely isn't ready for public consumption, in my opinion, considering how lacking the avatars are just all around. You know, if they have the ability to go through and to make it so that this avatar system can self-create your avatar for you and make it so that it's in your likeness, then why wouldn't they just pay someone to have better graphics? You know, there's plenty of gaming systems that you can customize characters that look more realistic than this, so I just don't understand why they wouldn't go the extra mile and pay someone to have an actual, like, good model of people. You know, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So between that and the lack of expression, actually the lack of negative expression, I feel like this is just kind of going to be like a miss, really. But, you know, I'm able to be wrong, so it quite potentially could be the best thing that has come out in a really long time, and maybe I'm just going to be missing out on it because I don't own an Oculus and because I'm not willing to spend the money for an Oculus just to have Facebook VR. I imagine that they're probably going to have some kind of capability to go between this and other VR systems, not exclusively the Oculus, because then they're going to lose out on a lot of people that could potentially utilize this, you know, with either the Samsung VR or any of the other VRs that are out there. You know, if you want to be able to be a part of this, then if you can only do it with the Oculus, it seems like they're just kind of wasting it in essence, because let's face it, the Oculus is expensive as fuck, and having a computer to be able to run the Oculus on, there's only going to be so many people that you know that's going to be able to do this. In fact, I only know one person that owns an Oculus. One. And that's not to say that I don't know quite a lot of gamers. I do know quite a lot of gamers, but only one of them that I know has an Oculus. In fact, more of them have Switches than have the Oculus, and that's something that's so damn new that you can't even get it at some places. So I just really feel like this Facebook VR thing is definitely going to be a miss in my book. I mean, if a year goes by and this is like the hottest thing ever, then maybe I'll do a new video on how I was wrong and how this was super hot, and, you know, we'll just see. But honestly, I just think that it's going to be a huge miss. And if you think otherwise, please let me know. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again for joining me. That was another 10 minutes perfectly wasted.